Hey everybody, welcome back. Hopefully you can see everything okay. I know it looks like a mess. I'm trying to put everything out here so it's easy to see. So, we are going to talk about reborning, okay? I figured this would be good. I have a friend that wants to start reborning and stuff, and I use air dry paints, acrylics. I do have the, what's it called? That, for heat set paints, I have the heater. I have that. I do not have any heat set paints. It was given to me, it's brand new. I have not used it. I don't know if I'll get into that or not. I'm comfortable doing with what I'm doing. So I don't know. Anyway, welcome to another video. This one's going to be a long one. I don't want to do it in parts. I want this to be a reference video for anybody that is considering air dry paints or painting in general. The only thing that's going to be different is what I use for the paints, which is right here and right here. Heat set paints have a whole different, how you set them, how you varnish them, the whole bit. It's all different. So that you would have to find another video on, because I do not do that. And I don't know there's many out there that offering that kind of free advice. And I'm doing this free. I do have a Patreon. I could put it over there and try to get people to sign up, you know, but I'm not going to push that. I don't want to. It would be nice, but I'm not going to push somebody to get the information. You have to buy it, kind of thing. And that's what I found when I was trying to learn. I searched everybody and everybody for about 6 months to a year before I even started my channel on how to do this stuff free. There is no freebie. There's pieces, and I had to piece things together. And then I actually found a lady over in Australia that did classes that were free, which is awesome of her. And she did do them with acrylic paint and heat set paint. But the ones that I watched were with heat set paint. She didn't come out with the other ones until later, I think. But I just had to change. I had to find the shades of paint that they were using. But the amount that they were using and everything is pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same. But anyway, she has a great tutorial. I think I can link it underneath here for you guys to go check it out. If I don't link it and you want that link, then you can message me and I'll send you the link, whatever. Now, this is stuff that I've learned by watching, taking a ton of notes. And I haven't found anybody locally, like in the state of Utah. I know there's a few that do reborning, but I personally have not met them or met up with them or anything like that. And I think they use heat set paint. But anyway, so I've kind of made a little list, and I'm probably leaving something out. So I'm going to kind of go slow from the top to the bottom kind of thing on what you're going to need, you know, and there will be, excuse me, I do have other videos in the playlist on how to. The playlist is called How To. If you go to that playlist underneath there, you'll just have to search, because there's a ton of them, how to paint a reborn, there's different ones. So if you want to watch them, definitely go watch them. I'm going to be doing another one here pretty soon. Yeah, so okay, so let's get started. I will try to, I never remember to do this, and I should. in the iCard, or at the end of the video I will list a playlist, and I will put the how-to playlist at the end of this video, so you can just click on it and it'll just take you there. But I'll try to put a couple in the iCards on. I'll go in and try to find the video and get the link, and then link it in the iCard so you can actually click on them and go, okay? So, here we go. Thanks for watching, and by the way, if I didn't say that already, welcome to new people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would love to get viral. I don't think that's going to happen. That's funny. But everybody's goal is to get a plaque. Well, you don't get plaques anymore unless you have 10,000 subscribers. I'm a ways away from that. I'm only almost at 3,000. It would be nice to hit 3,000 by the end of the year. I got 2 months. You think I'll get 400 people between now and then? Maybe. It is possible, but we'll see. I'd like to get as close to 3,000 as I can, and then next year try to hit the 4,000 mark. We'll see. See what happens. Anyways, okay, I've got everything. I just kind of put everything out here that I think I have everything as I go. I'll probably remember more. And I can't move right now because I got all these doll kits in my way. Okay. If you have the opportunity and the money, it's always good when kits are on sale to buy them, so you have them. It's always a good idea. I do have some pre-painted kits right here that have to be reborn. I'm gonna call it that anyway. They need to be taken apart and weighted. Maybe some paint added or whatever, but I have a few down here. So I probably should put it in parts, but I'm not gonna. We'll just get a piece of paper and a pen, and first off, I don't know how to start it. Okay. I don't know if I want to start. This is all of what you're going to need, but if I could tell you a few things that you need absolutely first, because it's going to take you a while to paint and do all that, so some of the stuff can wait a little bit. So you need your paints first off, okay? You need your paints, and I'm going to go over my paints, what I use. You're going to need, depending on what paints you use, if you use an air dry paint, I'm going to piss some people off, and I don't mean to, but in my experience, for me, I want a primer on my doll. I want a primer because, yeah, you can paint the doll, but it's not going to stay. It's gonna peel. No. You'll learn by your mistakes. I think if you're using air dry, you have got to have a primer. Hold on. Okay. Hubby came down. So I think you need a primer. There's a lot of other people that don't think you do. But if you don't want your stuff to peel, you need a primer. But the trick is to make sure you apply it right. Okay? So you need that. And then for the paint to stick to the vinyl, you've already primed it, but it needs to stick. I add emulsion. Both of these are from REBORN FX, air dry medium. One is paint emulsion. This is what you mix with the paint, and primer that you put on the doll before you paint. And you gotta let it dry like 24 hours beforehand, okay? So you need these items. The paint emulsion, this thing's gonna last me forever. I usually buy it in this. I have a little bit left, probably not much. Yeah, there's not a whole lot in there. You only need a drop because you're only adding a half a tablespoon of water. So you don't need a lot of this. And I mix mine in glass. I don't use plastic, I use glass. And you're gonna put half a tablespoon of not just any old water, you're gonna use distilled water. And I don't keep the big tub of it up here. I use a barbecue kitchen, classic, barbecue sauce, ketchup container, whatever. You can get these cheap at Walmart, you can get them at Dollar Tree, you can get them all over the place. So I usually fill this up, okay? And that's the water you use to mix your paints with. There's some people that will say you could use boiled water, or you could use bottled tap water. Can if you want to. I'm not risking it though. I use distilled water. So half a teaspoon water in a glass bowl, a drop of the emulsion to mix with the paint. The only problem I have with this is it changes the color of the paint that you're using. So when I was using paint, glass and tile medium, which I have 6 bottles over here that I'm hoarding because that's what I started out with to use. It's clear. So when I mixed it with the paint, it was true color. This is white and it distorts the color. So you got to keep that in mind when you're painting with this stuff. It distorts it. So there's the first kind of thing, okay? We might as well just stay on the paints so I can kind of get them out of the way. Now I use certain colors, and certain colors you will mix to make other colors, okay? So you use purple, green, blue, yellow, reds, and I think that's it. There's 5 colors. But of those 5 colors, oh, there's green. 6 colors, okay? The green, you could just go buy that color, but I make the color with red and blue and yellow. It makes the green that I need. And it's not this is Christmas green. It's more of a hunting green, more of a duller green color. So you can do that. Okay, so I use this different products here, and I really don't care what product you use. I have a whole kit over here that somebody gave me, and it's from Art and Magic, I guess. Art and Magic. These are paints, and it has all the stuff to it, but you mix it differently than I do this stuff. So I do have a different brand, but I actually would like to get the REBORN FX ones, but they're expensive. So I just use what I have. I use what I have. And I have Delta, and I don't even know if you can get them still, probably online. I got Delta Creative, Serum Coat. I got the Delta ones. I have Folk Art, which is another good paint you could use. What's the other one? Gold something gold is a good one too. And Apple Barrel. Those are the 3 that I have, but I'm pretty much sure that you would still have to use the same kind of thing with the primer and everything, so it doesn't matter. But these are the colors that I use. I have a flush color, this is the one I like. I have several others that I have, but this is the one that I typically will go to because it says flesh. So I use this one for adding to the, when I'm done, I add this to my sealer that I use. I add the color to it. So, and I got white. This is oyster white. It's kind of like an off-white. It's not a bright white. It's kind of more of a yellow tone, tan tone white. So that's for nails. That one's for nails. And the milk dots, if you want that. I got a crimson red, and this I wrote on here, Genesis red. It's the closest I found to that shade for Genesis red. Then I have a maroon, and this is like a red 02, similar to the red 02. I think I have, this one's almost gone. Any kind of maroony color will be similar to the red 02 in the heat set paint. I have yellow. Yellow is yellow. This is opaque yellow, so it's kind of like a duller yellow. It's not a bright yellow. Okay. And I have full cart. It's called True Blue, and this is the one that is ultramarine for the Genesis color. And then I have Pathio Blue, and this is for veining. I use this for veining, for veins. You got to be careful when you use the reds and the blues. It stains the vinyl quickly. You will not get it off. So you want to be very careful when you use it. You want to make sure you've mixed it to the color you want before you even put it on the vinyl. It's best that you get a test limb so you can mix, because you're not using very much. Do a test to see how you want it, you know. And each limb's going to be different. Each vinyl is different. This one's a light colored vinyl, so I had to do a little bit to it to make it look darker, you know. Then I've got purple. This one is Purple Pansy by Apple Barrel, and this is equivalent to eyelid purple. So when I'm doing closed-eyed babies, and because they're newborn, preemie, they're really kind of purpley colored. So I put this on the eyelids of every baby that I do with closed eyes. And he has some, but it's not very much. You can see a little hint of purple on the eyelids. Then I have the lighter color purple. So if you're doing an older doll, like 3 to 6 month up, then you'd use this purple. The darker purple is for preemies, newborn, like that, because it's darker. And this one's really watery. I don't know why. Eventually I'll have to go get new paints, but right now they still work. They still work for me. So there's the paints, there's your primer and stuff, your bowls, your water. So we've talked about the paints and what you need to get going. Next up, you need brushes, paint brushes. I would go to Walmart or Amazon and get a set that is for acrylic paint, okay? I've got a couple of different sets in here. The ones I love the best are these purple ones. I started out with these, and I knew when I got them, I should have bought like 5 packages of them, and I didn't. I love these brushes. And this one I use all the time, and it's not labeled on here anymore. It's kind of a small, medium, flat brush. Kind of a small, medium. It's probably the size of my pinky bed reference, about the size of your pinky bed. And then you have the other ones, all the other ones that go with it. But that's my favorite one. I did get another, I got these ones at Wally too. These ones are blue. The stuff is rubbed off on them. They should put them on the top, etch it in the top. Let's see if I can, here's one that has the name on it. Royal and Lang Nickel is the name of the brushes. But this is another flat. It's a little bit bigger than this one. But when I first started, I used this one all the time. This one I'll use if I need a bunch of paint because it's a little bit bigger. But you're going to need different paint brushes for different things. So I have the blue, the purple, and I have black. The black ones are more the fine tip ones. So you're going to need some brushes, the different sizes. And sometimes you have to buy a bunch of different kits. Because for fingernails, you're going to need like a hairline brush. For like the little scratches, the little capillaries, I actually use a toothpick for those. So, but you're going to need brushes. I don't care what ones you get, but you're going to need acrylic brushes if you use an acrylic paint. And you're going to need a variety. You're going to need some skinny ones, thin ones, and you're going to need, I use this one most of the time. This one, the big fat one, it's in a different thing. I use a big fat one and a bunch of skinny ones. Where's my skinny one? You can use makeup brushes and stuff if you want. I actually couldn't find a good thin one to do fingernails, and I had my husband cut one of these ones down. Look how small that is. So I could do fingernails. So you're going to need smaller ones, but you're going to need this flat one especially, because that's, if you watch my tutorials, that's how I mix the paint. A half a brush is just one side of it. A full brush is both sides, just so you know, okay? So there's your brushes, and I got quite a few of them in here. And you'll want to set up your space. You know, I got one of these paint brush holders to hold my brushes, and I probably should go through there and arrange them by size. Would help me a lot if I did that instead of hunting for them. You're going to need some of these glass bowls. I got mine at Dollar Tree. They're in with the glasses, and I'll use anywhere from 12 to 15, 16 of these, depending on what I'm doing, how detailed, and what paint I gotta do. Because if I'm using red, it might dry out. Because if I'm done with the red, I'll take another one and put it on top. It's not sealed tight, so it's going to go away. You'll have to mix more. So you can do that. So there's the paint, the emulsion, all of that, okay? Your paint brushes, talked about that. Okay, so now you're going to need your kit. You're going to need a stand to put your work on so it can dry. I have two stands here. I have this one, which is a bottle dryer that you can get at any thrift store or whatever. And my husband made me the other one because this one has bigger things on it. I used to do preemies right here because the hole in the limbs is way different to hold them up. Some people use little shower hooks and have them hooked to their wall. They can't touch anything, so they have to be away from stuff, okay? So you're going to need that. some way to dry them. You're going to need, well, it's still painting, so you definitely need the kit. I have a kit right here. It's a little preemie kit that I'm going to be doing with a friend. Okay, applying the paint. First, you need your surface to be clean. I use a pea pad, dog pad, whatever you want to call these. And this is a small one. I split it in half, cut it in half. Don't cut it, but split it in half. And this is my surface for painting. This is what I use because you're going to be dabbing your sponges, you're going to be your brushes, all of that. So you're going to need one of these. Okay. Fold it back over so it doesn't get dirty. And then usually one of these is $2 for me. It's $2. I just flip it over. Okay. Paint that. You are going to need, let's see what else for paint. Okay, you're going to need sponges. We're still talking about paint. I probably should have done this in separate parts, but I didn't want to do that. It's going to be a long video. Okay, sponges. These are the two sponges that I use. There are tons more that you can use. There's a ton more that you can use. I have several sponges. I bought special ones. Let's see. Let me see if I can get at them. There's more of these bowls. Let's see if I can get at them. Because I wanted to try it out. And I have not figured out the best way to do these with acrylic. If I was using straight paint, it would work. But because mine's so watered down, it just soaks it up. And I haven't been able to fandangle it. These ones are from Small World Nursery. I love them. And she has different packets, different things you can get. You can get texture ones, you can get I wanted the mottling ones. So I got the mottling ones. There's different holes. And these are makeup sponges. It's actually the same kind of sponges I got, but for some reason, it doesn't turn out the same. I love this one, the bigger holes. I'll just have to try it again at some point, and it's just different ones. And it's like, how do you make those holes? And I figured out how they're made. That's one thing I need to write down for Christmas that I want is a, what's it called? It's a, oh, I can't remember what it's called. It's a heat pen. I mean, it's got different things on it. Wood burning, not wood burning, yeah. One of those, and you just it burns it into the thing. Anyway, I want one of those. So, and then the softer ones that are like this, you get one out. And Family Dollar does not carry these anymore. At least mine doesn't. I was not happy about it. And I would have to go to Walmart and really search for this type. I need this smooth type. And because you're going to need the smooth and you're going to need when you rip it apart. So if you rip it apart and it has some texture on it. I don't know if you can see that. It has some texture. You're going to need those. This is how I apply the primer. That's also how I apply the varnish at the end, is with these. So you're going to need a ton of these. And these ones, you make sure whatever ones you get, they are latex free. These ones, this is what I use if you have a Family Dollar near you and they still carry these. This is what you need. And that's what you need to have. So there's that sponge. And then this sponge, you need two different kinds. I don't really care what you use, whatever you're comfortable with, but this is what I use. These I got at Walmart, and I have not seen them there since. So these are the only ones I got left. I'm going to have to go online and do a search for these kind and find the code right here and find them. These are the ones that I use for mottling. These bigger ones. They're perfect. For me, they're perfect. It's what I started with. It's what I use. It's what I'm comfortable with. And I have a hard time switching. So those are the sponges. I do have a ton more of different ones. So we're going to put those back right there. Okay. So here's what they look, some of mine, because you're going to need, for sponges, you are going to need a pair of tweezers. Okay? And you're going to pluck holes out, different ones, for your mottling holes. Okay? And this is what you're going to use to make your mottling sponges. And that's what I use. That's what you will use for mottling, unless you find them already that are already made for you. And that's why I bought hers, because I liked them. I was going to try them. But, yeah, that didn't work for me. So, anyways. And I have, how many colors? Like I said, I think there's 6. Purple, blue, green, yellow, red, burgundy. Regular red and burgundy red, depending on what you're doing. You're going to need 6 or 7. So, and I have this little case. I actually need a bigger case for them now. So there's your stuff for that. Tweezers are handy to have. You get a piece of hair, whatever, pick them out. You're going to need a good pair of tweezers. Okay, so we covered paint. Covered all the paint. Now we're going to cover, let's see, you don't need toothpicks, you'll need that, you'll need, okay, after you're done painting, you're all done with the baby, you're all done. This could take you anywhere, depending on how long you want to sit and do it. You really should let it dry in between. Like I'll start with the head and do stuff, and by the time I get to the legs and the feet, the head's already dry. Depending on your time, I will concentrate on, like one day just do the head, and then the next day do the legs, then the next day do the arms. You know, it just depends on how much time frame you have and everything. When I'm doing the washes, I will do all of it at one time. Same with mottling, but if I'm doing the details and stuff, that's when I switch it up. Okay, so you're all done. It's drying, you're done. You've done all your paint, you've done all of that, you've done all of that. You are going to, I don't apply my gloss varnish to the nails, the lips, the eye, the nose, any of the glossy stuff. I do not add until I varnish the whole kit. So I do that last, but you can get this. This is from Americana, which is what I use for varnish, Deco Art. So you can get this at Walmart. Different Walmarts have it. You can get it online. I have several of these still, I think. But this is what I use for the gloss. And I imagine each paint that you buy, Folk Art or Reborn FX or whatever acrylic paint you're using, will have its own stuff. So, and that's what I recommend is using. I have a mixture, so I don't really care. It all works. I've had babies for years. I've had people buy my babies. We have never had a problem. Never. Nobody's ever came to me and said, hey, can you fix this? Tanner's the oldest one I have, and he needs to be taken apart and revarnished because he's starting to get shiny. He shouldn't be shiny. They should not be shiny. They should be nice and smooth, the whole bit. I'm getting distracted. I'm so sorry. So, this is very last. But your varnish. I use this stuff. And I'm hoping it should be good. It's watery. Mix it up real good. I'm going to have to order another one before next year, though, I think. Because I haven't painted anything. This is the last one I painted, I think. That was a while ago. I think that was last winter. I still haven't put them together yet. That's another video. All right, anyway. I use Americana Decor Soft Touch Varnish. Okay? And there's a whole big thing here of how to use this. And you shake it well, apply thin, okay? Even coat with a brush. I brush it on, so say I'm all done and I need to varnish this doll. I need to finish it. I need to get it all done. So I'll make sure you have gloves on. I don't have gloves on because it's all finished. I take this bigger brush. This is what I use the big brush for. And I'll put some of this in one of these glass jars, okay? Not very much. I will put, like, fill up that hole, this bottom piece, ring. I'll fill up that, which isn't very much. And for this doll, I'll probably use every single one of it. And you're going to brush it on like this. You're going to brush it on, get into creases. I would even do in the ring here, because it helps. I don't buy rings. It helps it so it moves smoother. And the feet and the crevices, do all of that. Then you're going to take your sponge, the sponge that we cut up, and you are going to pounce this. But you're going to apply it thin. So you're going to apply it so it's thin, right? And then you're going to do this. And this is going to give you some texture. It's not going to feel bumpy or anything. It's just going to give you some texture. And you're going to do this all around. Make sure you clean off your sponge. Keep doing that. And then go on to the next limb. Okay? And then the head. Whatever. You're going to do that same process. You're going to go through what I typically do. One sponge will do one of these. We'll do probably each leg. This size I use one. So you're going to use some of these sponges when you're done. You will use some. And then after you're done, do the legs and everything first. This is where I do it backwards. Do the legs and everything first. Then do the head. Put the head down, let it dry. It's going to dry. By the time you're done with the head, these ones should be, if you kind of touch it a little bit, shouldn't be that sticky. It should be fairly, it might seem kind of wet, but you're going to do it again. You're going to add another one. Okay? But you want it kind of dry. If you don't want to do that, I don't do this real thin, but just the brush. Just put it on. It's kind of thickish, you know, put it on. And then it's just going to take longer to dab it off. And then you're going to, after you're done doing this, you're going to leave this for 24 to 48 hours. It's got to dry. It has to dry. I know by then you're going to be, oh, I want to put it together. I want to put it together. No. You have got to let it dry. Very important. Find something else to do. Go shopping. Get it, an outfit or something. Put an outfit together. Figure out what you're going to do for the baby or whatever, you know. So before this, I used this. This is cheaper than this. This is hard to find. It's getting harder to find. I have to get it on Amazon. This is an 8 fluid ounce jar, and this is a 2 fluid ounce. And this is what I used before. And I would still use it today if this got bad. I would go back and use this. And you're going to do the exact same thing. It's just a different brand. And you're going to do the same thing. It dries. Anything that you use for varnishing, sealing, some people call it varnishing, sealing, whatever. Make sure you get the smooth, velvety finish. Smooth, soft touch. This is soft touch. You want it smooth, nice and smooth. That's the thing with heat set. I have 2 heat set babies. Love them to death. Love them. Absolutely love them. I do not like the rough texture. They textured it, and I don't like it. My skin doesn't feel like, well, it kind of does, but it should be soft. So I have a little bit of an issue with it, but anyways, there's that. Okay, so we're done with the paint, the varnish, we're done. Now we are going to talk about putting the baby together. So after you're done, it's dry, you're going to need glue, hot glue, we'll talk about the glues. Okay, hot glue. I use hot glue for the magnet. Where's my magnets? Where did I put it? Where's my magnet? Oh, right here. Okay. If you have a closed mouth baby and you want to use a pacifier, you're going to need magnets. I get mine at the hardware store. I get these ones at the hardware store. They have different ones. They have these little ones and they have big round ones. I use these ones I usually get the bigger size ones. Let's see if I have some. I do. Okay. These are the bigger ones. The bigger round ones, but they're thick. See how thick they are? And there's only 2 for a package. No, I have 3 for a package. That's $3. This is the main one that's going to go inside the head. Right. In here. Okay. This is why I have some of this out, because we need to do that with this one. And I'll do a video on putting a magnet in and then putting it together and all that. That's why this is out. It is for that purpose. So you need a little bit of a bigger one, stronger one to put inside the mouth, because you're going to use a smaller one. This one's fairly big. I'll use this one sometimes, but I prefer this one. I can use these ones, but I prefer the bigger ones. I think I bought these ones because they didn't have these ones. And then these ones I order, hubby gets for me. They're strong. They are strong. These are thin. I don't know if you can tell how thin. See how thin they are? These are the ones I put on the passies. Or if it's a girl and you want to put a bow, I'll put this on the top. The only one I use the big one for is the pacifier. The little ones are for like the bows that you put on the head and for the pacifiers on the outside. Okay, so we'll move these. I need that out. Okay, I need that. I need these. So, here's one. I have it out already. For this doll that I'm going to do. Okay. And because they're inside here, it's going to flip. I'm not going to lose it. So then you're going to need a piece of felt. Well, hi, Misty's coming. You can't get on that table, so don't even think about it. Okay. You're going to need some felt. I use white. Because I don't like it to see through the vinyl. What, baby? I thought you were over on the other thing. Go back over there. So you need a piece of felt, hot glue, and the reason I use hot glue is because it'll hold it in place until this dries, okay? And then I use tacky glue. You can actually get this at Dollar Tree. You can get it at Dollar Tree, you can get it at Wally, it doesn't matter, okay? I was using this one. I love this one. This is Gym Tech permanent glue. I haven't bought any more. I should. But you can use that. But I use this because you can use it for anything. So you're going to put some hot glue inside the vinyl. Right? Get over there. And then you're going to cut a piece of this. Right? Cut a piece. And then you're going to put hot glue on here. You're also going to put some of this on this and inside there. So what you're going to do after you put goop in here, you can kind of see where the mouth is on the inside. You can't do it while I'm holding it, but you can see on the inside where the mouth is. So I'm going to put that glue and just in there. And then you're going to take this big magnet and you're going to drop it in there, in that vicinity. Then you're going to take your pacifier, the other magnet, and you're going to stick it on the outside of here. And the inside magnet and this magnet are going to line up. And while it's wet, you can kind of maneuver it where you want it to be, okay? After you've got that there, you're going to take this piece of felt and you're going to stick it in there, which is going to be really hard to do. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be hard to do. And you're going to get frustrated. But you're going to put the glue on here because your hands are going to get yuck, whatever. You can leave one corner of it good. I have a pair of snips. I don't know where they are. It's supposed to be over here. They're scissors that connect. And you can drop, you can use the end of a paintbrush too. And just put that, drop that in there and kind of put it on there and put it around so it's around that magnet so it'll stick. So that's what's going to hold it in place after it dries, is that. And you got to leave the magnets here and leave them tipped. Leave them tipped like this because you don't want it to move. So you're going to have to do this overnight. So here's another overnight, sorry, that you're going to have to do. So after that is done, then you can make your passies, as many as you want, as many magnets that you have, whatever. I usually make 1 or 2 for people that buy a doll for me. And it's good, you know. And if it's a girl, I will do like a decorative one or a plain one or whatever. I have some extras here that go to babies, but I don't know which babies they go to. So that's what you need for the magnets. Okay, that's the magnets. Now, like I said, I should have probably done this in order, but it's going to be an hour-long video for you. So next part is putting the doll together. So you're all done with that. The magnet's ready. You're all good. Now it's time to put the stuffing in, the glass beads, all of that. So what I use, I just go to Walmart and they have different kinds. I usually use this one. I do have another one that's softer. If you want to pay for it, you can do that. But you need a bag of this stuff. You need a bag of fiberfill. You need glass beads. I buy it in bulk. This is the perfect one. That's all I have left of this one. My husband bought me some, and it's smaller than this. It's a little bit finer. So it's going to be a little more difficult to deal with as far as the body goes. Not the limbs, but the body. So I have a container that I use to put it in. It comes in bags, and you have to empty it in here. But the big one that he got me is in a huge bag, and I have a tin over here. So when I need to use it, I'm going to open up the bag and just have a scoop. I have a scoop here that I've made out of a Mountain Dew Sprite bottle. This is what I use to scoop it into the limbs, or you're going to need, depending on the size of the limbs. There's this size. I got a couple of funnels. I have this funnel. These come in a set of 3 different sizes. I use this one a lot. And then I have this itty bitty one, and I can't remember what it came for. I don't remember. I do not know where I got it, but this fits the preemie ones really good. So I have these funnels. You're going to need different sizes for different holes. You will need some cardboard, or you can buy plugs. I don't buy the plugs. I don't buy the rings anymore. I just cut out what it's going to fit to put it in there. You put your glass beads in, you're going to put some of this in, and then you're going to cut a little round piece, and that's going to be the stopper on the top. Some people glue the crap out of it with hot glue. I don't do that in case you want to re-weight them. I don't do that. So you'll need that, okay, glass beads. If you do not, like if you're doing a cuddle baby, you can use glass beads, but you have to put them in something, like a nylon. You have to put them in something before you put them in the body part. Oh yeah, when you buy a kit, it does not come with a body. Sometimes it does. It's more money. You'll have to buy the right body for that doll, okay? I buy Dollar Tree nylons. There's 2, how many in a pack? There's 2 sets. Yep, 2 pair. So I have 4, okay? Or you can go to a thrift store and find knee highs. But I will always cut this in half, because one's the body and one is the butt. And then you're going to cut another one in half, and you're going to use it for the head, okay? So you need some nylons. But what I was saying, if you're doing a cuddle baby, this you do not need a nylon for. You can just dump it in it. And this you cannot use in vinyl. So you cannot dump this into the vinyl limbs. You have to have this only in the body, cloth body. But I have some of it because I made a cloth body baby. So I do have some. Walmart does sell this. It is expensive, not gonna lie. And they've got different poundages of this. This is just 6 pounds, and I've probably used half of it. So you've got that and glass beads, depending on what you're using and what you're doing, okay? Then you filled it up with your stuff. You got your nylons. I got a box of these gloves. I got white gloves. They're both latex free. It doesn't matter which ones you use. Okay. I get these from Dolls by Sandy because that seems to be the cheapest place to get them in, is the wafers, the baby powder wafers. And I cut mine in half. Sometimes I'll cut it into like this. One of these will go in the head. The big one will go in the body, and I have another one that I'll use to put in another part of the body or whatever. So you don't have to use this if you don't want to, okay? This is just extra to make it smell good. Some people don't put them in the baby. They will put them in a diaper. So the people that are buying it can either use it or not use it. So it just depends. Okay, nylon, did that. Now, putting it together. Most kits will come with their own zip ties, okay? Most of the bodies will come with their own zip ties. It is always going to be good to buy your own. I bought my own on top of, just so that I have some here, because I bought these other dolls, these ones that are pre-painted, and I want to reborn them, and I want to weight them, so I'll have to cut whatever they used, and I'll have to replace it. So you need these if you're going to do this. They're not that expensive. I think I got these off of Dolls by Sandy also, and it comes in a bag of 20 or 30, I think. There's quite a bit in here, so maybe it was 30. I don't know. So you're going to need some zip ties, okay? And like I said, some of them come with it. Like these ones are different size heads. They're different sizes. And these ones are teeny. I personally like the teeny ones, but if I don't have any, I'll use these. It's fine. It's all good. So there's that. And you'll need a pair of clippers to cut them. After you put them in, this is the birth, what's considered the birth of the baby. You cut the limbs, the zip ties off the limbs. The head is always last because that's the birthday. So if you want to record or write it down what time that you do that on, that's when you do that. That's what is considered the birth, is when you cut the head zip tie. And that's it. I have the Dreft beads. I need to buy some more. I will put these in a little sack and put it in the box if they're going away, if they're going to somebody. I'll also use this also. I'll put some in the same little mesh bag and put it in the diaper if I'm just role playing. I want it to smell good. That's what I'll do. I will also do that when I send a baby home. Not only do they have the powder scent inside their body, this will also be in like a diaper or whatever. They can continue to use it. So I will do that also. Okay. If they have rooted hair, I will send them home with a spray bottle with some, this is the one I use. And there's different brands, but it's all the same. I get it from Dollar Tree, I get it from Walmart, get it from Family Dollar. It's just the green leave-in detangling conditioner, spray-on detangle, and it works great. So I just put some of that in there. And then the other bottle I put, I used to have, and it's Walmart used to carry it. They don't carry it anymore. I do not have any anymore. Johnson & Johnson's cologne. They have different ones of these. I like this one, but they also have a pink one that is powder fresh. That's the next one I want to get. This one does smell good though. Yes, it does. It smells awesome. I do not have any more in here. I keep the bottle because I want to buy it. So what I used on mine lately is I will fill this up halfway with water, or almost up with water, and then I will squirt some of this in there. If I can open it. It's just a little child-sized baby oil. Baby oil is not thick like regular oil that you would buy for yourself. You know, it's just not that thick. Okay. Now, my reborns, I take some of this, put it on my hand, like there's some on there, right? And I will put it on their shirt or whatever. The only problem with that, like any oil, is an oil. It could stain. So what I recommend is I fill that up with water, and then I squeeze some of this in there. And water and oil don't mix until you mix them. Shake it up real good. Shake it, shake it, shake it. And I spray it on the diaper. and it smells so good. So that's what I do with this, because I don't have any of the other cologne, is that I will spray this on the diaper. And if I sell a doll and I have it in there, I usually will send this with them, the whole bottle, but I will make some, and I tell them how to make it, and they can, and how to use it. Only use it on the diaper, okay? You could put it on a blanket or rub it in your hands first, and then you can do that. Now, with my dolls, like with Tanner, I will put baby lotion on my hands, just a little dot, rub it in so it's almost into my hands, and I will put it on his vinyl. But he's my doll, so it doesn't matter. He is getting so he's real shiny, so I stopped doing that, and I put it on his cloth, so the lotion. And the lotion you also could put on the clothes. So if you want that baby smell, that's what I recommend doing. If you're really sketchy about any of it, do not do it. Even though I say, hey, it's okay, do not do it. Don't do it. Just put it on the diaper, okay? And that way you'll be safe. So there is, and I also throw in, one has water in it with the detangler, and the other one has the smell thing in it. So there you go. I think that's everything. It is an hour-long, little over hour-long video. If you have any questions, please comment below. You can get some Q-tips to have with the Q-tips, cotton balls, you know, just so you have them. You know, you can, I haven't decked it out here yet, but I'm fixing to. So I have a whole reborn area here. And I write down, I keep my little pad of paper on both channels. I have it in here. Take it upstairs, go through it, write it on different papers on what I need to get or whatever. I want to get, and it's usually for your bathroom, cotton ball, cotton swab holders. I want to have that here. And I have room to do it. I got to clean this up. I definitely have room I can put it in. And I do have some. My cotton swabs are in here. You could. Now, I did buy, I think we talked about sponges. I bought these for reborning. They're perfect mottling ones, but you have to get them wet first and then put the paint on and see how it works if you like it. But I did buy some of these. I can't remember where I bought them from, but I bought some. And I might try that next time I paint just to see how it comes out. So, paper towels. Paper towels. You need paper towels. Most everything I have here, I do need to get more pee pads. And I think I have that written down upstairs, pee pads. I need pee pads. I need to get some more nylons too at Dollar Tree, because they're cheaper there. They're $1. Some things are still $1.25 and other things are $1.50, $2, whatever. I think these are still going to be $1.25, but I'm not sure. I hope so. Next time I go, I'm going to have to stock up. I'll probably buy between 4 and 6 of them. There's 2 each, so that way I have 12. Because you will go through these per doll. So you use, you probably use both of these per doll, depending on what you're doing. So yeah. Anyway, I think that is it for me now. It's almost dinner time. So enjoy this. Let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. If you already paint and you want to put your 2 cents in about primer and all that, I've heard it before. It's okay. You do you, okay? For me, for safe, I'm not going to tell somebody not to do that. So you can decide what you want to do. You'll need a pair of scissors, obviously. You need scissors to cut stuff. So I think that's it. I don't think I forgot anything because I put it all out here. The only thing I didn't talk about is rooting hair, and that's a whole other video in itself. I'm still not that good at it. I can map, but to actually root it, I'm doing something wrong. I need somebody to teach me because I'm doing it, but it's not right. It does not come out right, so I'm not happy with it. So I got to figure out how I can get somebody to teach me how to do that. And I have, I bought a rooting class, but it's not the same as talking to somebody. So anyway, all right, have fun if you choose to do this. It's a lot of work. You do not have to be talented. You really don't. You just need to know how to mix paint. You know, that's it. And you're going to be your own worst critic. So you're going to love your first doll no matter how it comes out. Tegan looks awful. I'm not going to get rid of her compared to these dolls that I do now. Oh no, she's way practice, practice, practice. Okay. I will see you guys later. Have fun.